guys, before we get started, we want to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey guys, Ronnie here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, here for our 20th episode of Champion Sports Talk. And I'm here with my awesome co-host, Mr. Joey. Wait, hold on, wait. Where's Joey?
I took his place today.
Where's Joey? Oh my goodness. I got my my in-studio, our other studio co-host, Shannon Barlow-Doughty. How are you?
Doing good. Doing great.
Yeah. Appreciate you being here. As always, we're driven by Sango GMC, and we're live here from the beautiful Magnolia Bluff Casino Playmakers Sportsbook. It's awesome in here, huh?
It is. Like, you look around, y'all, if you've never been in here, you really need to come check it out. I know they've got some things going on. We'll get to that later. But, like, looking around, we've got 4 screens on our right, 2 on our left.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a great spot. We love coming down here every Thursday. A lot of people don't know Joey's out today because he's actually getting a hair transplant. So we've got live footage from the place. We may have a picture of him later. He said he's coming out of the hair transplant soon, so there may be a picture that if we can get it before the show's over.
Joey, just heads up, I did not condone this whatsoever. We miss you. We wish you were here.
Craig and I didn't have anything to do with that joke. It was all Shannon.
Yeah.
So
Let's take a vote and see who believes that.
Real quick before we get started, always want to say thank you to our military guys and gals across the world who, it's a crazy world right now, and we're very grateful for you, for all of you who help us do what we do here, make it possible for us to do what we do. And then also we want to continue prayers to Jessica Anderson, who's a part of the Magnolia Bluff Casino team, who's recovering from some health issues down in Baton Rouge. So we're thinking about you, Jessica. We hope that you have a great Christmas, and we love you, and we're thinking about you. Shannon, today normally we talk local sports and all of that, but I don't know anything. Joey's my knowledge man.
See, Joey, does need you.
Joey's the knowledge man, and so what we're going to do today is, and we're really not going to talk a lot of sports today. We're going to talk more. We're going into the new year,
mm-hmm.
and you're very big into health and fitness and all of that. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to kind of shift gears for an episode and bring you on, and just talk about some different. I think you're going to give us some tips today for
Sure.
exercise and diet and stuff
Right.
like that. But I guess we'll just kind of jump in with. Let's talk a little bit about your background and your history sort of in the health field.
Sure. So for those of you that don't know, when I was 15, my dad passed away of a heart attack in his sleep while we were on family vacation. He was 41 years old. He had had a mild heart attack prior to that and took care of himself, but just genetically there was some issues. And so both of his parents struggled with that. My grandfather had a pacemaker. My grandmother had heart attacks, and they both died of that heart attack. So at 15, my mom joined Highland Health Club. And now that I'm older, I realize that racquetball was more than just exercise for her.
Yeah.
She was raising 2 teenagers all of a sudden on her own, and she would get in that racquetball court and kill it. Like, if y'all knew Cynthia, you'd be like, really?
Yeah.
And so she kind of introduced us to that. So we joined Highland Health Club, and I took classes there when the step aerobics were made out of benches out of wood. Like, if you slipped off one of those suckers, you were in trouble.
I remember those.
Remember?
You talking about the little step thing where you did the
Yeah,
steps?
but it was plywood. I mean, it was
wood.
We
had that at Vidalia High School. We were
okay, those are the jump. Yes,
yeah,
the
Coach
jump
Orkoff would have us doing that.
Anyway, we'll get to that later. But I have scars on my knees from that box. But this was the step aerobics thing, and so I'll always remember looking at them and think, wow. As a kid. And so time kind of passed on, and we continued the fitness when we moved to Hattiesburg. So my senior year, moved to Hattiesburg so she could finish her degree in counseling, joined a gym there. And so my brother and I joined. I probably was not into it as much. Between my junior year and my senior year, I probably gained quickly 25 pounds. And at that time, back in the 80s of high school, okay. And I had been what I would never thought now, but when you look back, you're like, gosh, if I'd have known what I looked like, I wouldn't have stressed so bad about it. But the whole thing is, we tend to, at that time, the research wasn't there. Yeah. So at 5'4", we were told 5'4", 120 pounds. So for your height and then the inches, that's how you gauged how much you weighed. As we know, research has come a long way since then. Yeah. But in our minds, that's hard to get rid of. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. But my background piece was with that. And then I was called names. I was kind of picked on when I moved to Hattiesburg because people didn't know me. Mm-hmm. And so here I was, a little heavier.
The new kid.
The new kid in my senior year. And so, but got into the gym, started losing it, and it changed. And then that's when I realized how much people put pressure on how you look. Yeah. And how I also started standing up even stronger for people based on their, you know, that kind of thing. But taking up for the appearance piece of it. That's right. And so I just knew I'd kind of been on both ends of it, so to speak. And so then I just continued through 4th Street Gym at USM. If any of y'all were at the university, the Pain Center did not come around until after we graduated. So I didn't have the pleasure of visiting that until I became a grad student.
Is that P-A-I-N Center?
It's like, what a really good name for a place. But as a grad student, I went and took classes when I was there because you could. But so that kind of got me into it. And then once again, getting into running. Started running, probably Margaret Beasley, as a matter of fact, was my neighbor, and she and I would walk run and realized that that was good for me in a lot of ways, probably more mentally, but at that time I didn't think about it till you look back. And so I think that's where my passion is like I've been through everything. I've been through probably every fad diet, every fitness class you could take, I've taken or certified in it now. And so people may not realize, but those of us that keep our certifications spend a lot of money maintaining, and you don't really make a lot of money doing it. And so, especially with me, I don't do it full time. Yeah. So what I do is to give back to the community. And of course, what basically I may make doing any type of training or classes is just to kind of maintain my certifications. Yeah. And to be sure that I'm on the up and go and learning. I am by no means an expert, ever. A lot of what I've learned is what I have been through personally. I have worked with coaches. Coaches need to be coached. Mm-hmm. When I moved to Gulfport was probably when I became even more knowledgeable on the science of it all. I worked with some great people at gyms down there, from Rhodes Fitness to the Energy Club down there. They were the first two that hired me when I first moved there. I got in. That was 2014. Okay. And so I'd been at Mainstream prior to that.
10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. But prior to that, Mainstream. Okay. And then when Mainstream shut down, and that's where I got my start. Okay. Lena Yarbrough at the time, McKnight, and Maureen Johnson. She had moved here from Baton Rouge. Like, I want to find you. If anybody knows where she is, please let me know, because I have a story to tell her about Les Mills Body Pump that only she will understand. She came here, moved to from Baton Rouge. Her and her husband, he was a doctor, and Jennifer Meir. They came to me. I was right after Molly was born, and I'd been taking classes and been involved. And they said, we really need somebody to help us out, and we think you would do a great job. And I looked at all three of them and was like, there is no way. Here I was. I had a 6-week-old because I couldn't, run out in the neighborhood anymore because I didn't have a babysitter. Yeah. So that's when I got into the gym, because at that time we had a nursery. And so when they came to me, I went to a certification class. And at that time, you had to meet like 3 days in a row with us and take a test. At the end of it. Now there's so many other things that you can do. There's at-home ones, but you want to be careful with what certification you do your research. If you're looking into it, reach out to me and I can help you find the good resource to go to. Yeah. And then after that, kind of wrote its own book. But those three I really have to give credit to, because they were like, hey, you can do this. And in my mind, I immediately went back to the 80s, because y'all just look up 80s aerobic and you will completely understand how this would never look like that. And so that's when I got into the health
I'm
piece.
picturing like the headbands. And,
yes, for real. That is
the music play.
Yes, and the dance. I mean, for real. That is how they dress. And here I am.
Jazzercise, is that still a thing?
I think so. Yeah, not so much here anymore, but it was amazing. Like I do jazzercise, had fun. I love to dance, and that's what made me get certified in Zumba.
Huh.
And so the Zumba piece is really kind of what kickstarted a lot of it. A lot of people are like, Zumba, nobody wants to do that, but take it, like try it, especially if you're getting into fitness, because the music is fun, the dance is fun. You can torch some calories while you're doing it, but it gets you hooked. And that's what got me hooked. Between that and the strength training, that got me hooked on all the certifications that I've achieved since that time.
Okay. I didn't realize that your dad passed. How old was he?
41.
41. Okay.
So when I was 40, I got with Dr. LeMay, and we did a workup just to kind of go over, just kind of a peace of mind. And at that time, everything looked great. It's probably about time now at 52 to do it again.
Yeah.
But so talk with your doctors and get, especially if you have heart history. Yeah. And that was a lot of the reason, was the history of it is why he wanted to make sure that, everything was running like it should. And hence the reason that I'm so passionate about what I do.
Yeah. We just went and got one of the places up in Jackson does like the $99 calcium test or something. Yeah. We just did that for a little peace of mind.
Right, for sure.
Thankfully, we both came back good. But,
yeah,
but
I mean, and I think I was, there's other people in our community that have found, that have done something similar, maybe the same test, and have realized that some of the things that they needed to take care of, caught things early. So
yeah, I don't think he'd mind me saying this. Dr. Falkenhainer, Lee, our buddy.
Okay, that's who I.
Yeah, he put it out there. I think he would actually be glad for us to share it.
Yeah, sure.
He did one of those tests, and they found a spot on his lung, which probably saved his life. He was able to get it taken care of and all of that. But never smoked or anything like that. So it is very important to do those tests.
It is. It is.
So what I want today is. I guess I kind of have it broken down kind of in my notes, health and diet kind of separately. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure.
We can attack it like that. So let's start kind of with health and exercise type stuff. And I know you've got some tips for us, but, especially for women, I think that, there's a lot of stress on women, and there's a lot of stress in today's world let me try to think of the best way to say it. It's a lot of stress in today's world as far as like appearance goes. I know it's got to be the toughest time to be alive for women, because everywhere you look, it's like models here and this and that, and it's airbrushed this and that, and it's so much pressure. But then there's also the health side of it for women. Y'all go through. We have it easy, like as men, we have it easy.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that,
but in saying all that, especially for women, let's talk a little bit about some of your you want to just start with your tips?
Sure.
So let's go with your first one.
My first one, I guess, would say that the health and wellness piece. So as you know, if you follow us on Miss Lou Champion, we started a Wellness Wednesday, and we actually do that at DC too. Like we make announcements. Our nurse, Stephanie Hahn, does a really great job of working with our kids there. We have an EMR class, and so they're learning about health and fitness. We started a wellness club this year.
Awesome.
So we're trying to work towards that team piece, and I think that's my first tip of advice, is do it as a family.
Okay.
Once you have everybody on board, it makes it a lot easier.
Do it as a family.
Do it as a family, or find an accountability partner. So if you're not able to do things as a family, find someone that you can stay accountable with. Yeah. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to meet up with each other. I check in with clients all the time online or FaceTime. So there's a lot of things that I'll get into later of opportunities that are out there for you. And but one of the things I would do is understand that it's a lifestyle change, and it's not something you can do 6 to 8 weeks. I see so many people. I used to do it too. 6 to 8 weeks, you start feeling really good. You start to feel better in your clothes, and then you think, okay, I've got this, and then you stop.
Yeah. And
then it's about 4 to 6 weeks before you start seeing a change in, hey, my clothes don't feel so right. I've had too many Christmas cakes. That's been my problem. Those Christmas trees, never have eaten those things in my entire life. But what I would used to do is punish myself for that. And so we'll get into that later. But my first tip would be find an accountability partner, find a group. Don't be intimidated by walking into that group class. If you want to meet with me one-on-one and get comfortable with things, I have done that with people just to get comfort. I don't charge for that. Or anything like that on the personal training piece of it.
Okay.
So I think that's the key. Is the first tip would be have the buy-in and have accountability, because that's what's going to keep you doing it. I've been doing this now, gosh, since I was 15 off and on, but especially strong 21 years after Molly was born. But I did think, that's in the gym per se, but finding that accountability, and I've always had accountability. I promise you, I would not get up at 5 a.m. the mornings that I do if I did not have that accountability group working.
And I think that transfers. I think that's a great first tip, and I think that kind of transfers into anything in life, whether it be business or anything. It's, we have to be accountable to each other. Even at Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, there are certain things that, I'm representing you guys, and you guys are representing us, and we're all representing our partners.
Right.
And so, they're just being accountable to each other. Raises everybody up. So I think that translates too. So that's a good first tip.
Makes a champion.
That's right. So what's your next tip as far as health and exercise?
So I think my next one would go into that everybody needs to do it, from kids to teens to adults. I've had the pleasure of working with teenagers my entire career. I coached cheer for 19 years. Had the blessing to be a part of a powerlifting assistant coach to a powerlifting to help out with the girls. I learned a great deal through that. And then also with Prime Athletics down in Gulfport, I worked with some trainers that specified with athletes. Parents, if you follow anyone on Instagram or Facebook, I highly recommend this young man, because I've known him, I've trained with him, and I would not say this if I did not believe 100% wholeheartedly what he does. Brandon Barna actually played baseball at Alcorn State University. He graduated from the Harrison County School District. He's now working in Gulfport School District. And I had the pleasure of training alongside him and learning from him. And that's the key, too. Do not think you can't learn from others.
Yes.
What we may have learned a long time ago, there are so many people I have to retrain. The best client is that client that has never trained before, because I don't have to reteach bad habits. And he does those things. And so follow him. He gives tips for athletes. And this is one thing I want to say too. We are all athletes. We get up, we walk every day. That makes you athletic. And so that was one thing that you got to think about. Are you going to get out there necessarily and play football or anything like that on the sports end of it? But getting your children off of those phones and out of their rooms for 30 to 60 minutes a day. So it's recommended for teens to get 60 minutes a day of movement, of exercise. And so for your child to have the best wellness, it doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to be a gym. It just needs to go outside and play. And that's why PE is so important. Recess is so important. And so that second tip is just to realize that it's for all ages.
Okay.
You have that kid, get outside.
And that kind of goes back to what you were saying about the family thing too. Kind of do it as a family. So, yeah.
And then those that don't have children, just nieces, nephews, the lifestyle you lead, they're watching. Molly has sat in the corner of a room watching me work out and teach. She was 6 weeks old, bless her heart. I can't tell you how many times. That's one of the things that people say all the time. They look at her and say, is this the same child that was coloring in the corner when you were teaching? And so find ways. Don't let little things stop you. We will find excuses. I can't get up at 5 a.m. And do you know, I found this out, I think it was Family Feud. Miss Lane Hart shared with me this morning. 51% of the people work out at 5 a.m. So we're not that crazy.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
Because when I work out, that's what I have to do.
The afternoons
my day gets after about 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. My days start getting crazy.
Well, when I started out, I taught in the afternoons.
Yeah. And
then when I became assistant principal at Natchez High, I couldn't do that because we were, as an administrator, you have to be present at everything. And so that's when I started the mornings, and that's what I am not a morning person. I am 100% not. I've trained myself to be. And so if I want to get it in, that's when I have to do it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a morning person either, but I'm usually up very early because I just have to get stuff done. So,
right.
Yeah. So tip,
Tip 2.
Okay.
So
how many do we have here?
I could go on and on, but
Okay.
there's about 4 or 5.
Okay, that'll
really
work. So, what's your
so the third one, I would kind of look at the wellness of things, like your whole body wellness. So for instance, chiropractor care. I know a lot of people are nervous about that.
Mm-hmm.
Just me personally, Ashley Edwards is downtown now. There's, Monty Warsaw and Vidalia. Not sure of any others that are around town, so forgive me if I've left you out. These are just people that I know that I have been to. 2 of the greatest. One takes insurance, my insurance, the other didn't. So that's the only reason that I had to go leave for one. But it's the wellness piece of it. And so you look up the benefits of chiropractor care and taking care of your skin. There are so many people in our area. If you think about it, your skin is the largest organ of your body.
Yeah.
So why not take care of that, male and female? And I know Lindsay Edwards downtown does a lot. We have a lot of, aestheticians, am I saying that correctly? Is that coming out right? That do wonderful, great things. So it's not just the exercise piece, it's the whole wellness of taking care of your skin, hydration takes care of your skin, your heart, your lungs, like all of those pieces that even water takes care of. So and the nutrition piece. So I hate the word diet. I used to say it all the time. It's a negative word. We tend to look at it as, hey, this is what we're going to do. I'm on a diet. No, you're not on a diet. You're making lifestyle changes, because a diet is not going to work. I want someone to tell me a diet they've stayed on longer than 2 years and felt good, felt their best. And when you go to the gym, you did, because everything works. Intermittent fasting is a big thing. If that works for you, it doesn't work for me. I have to take, I work out at 5 in the morning. In the evenings, I'm one of those that on my workout days, I have to eat later than 7, because if I wake up with an empty tank, I'm not one that can eat right before I work out. So I'll do a shake or something, but that's what I found works for me. What works for you is completely different. It's a science, and you've got to give yourself grace and time. When I meet with people that I do nutrition with, and I'm not a dietitian, I just have my PN1 certification, and it's a course. We spent a lot of money taking this course. And it just basically walks through how to coach people, the macros, and that's going to be my 4th tip. But just that whole piece of the nutrition, taking care of your skin, hydration, the whole wellness of who you are. Because one thing, exercise, but then eating excuse my French, crap is not going to help you. Do not beat yourself up, because I used to have to change myself with this. Ooh, I ate that 2 Christmas cakes, and so I need to go get on the Peloton or get on a treadmill and do double. That's not the mindset you need to have. You can't. You
can't outwork a bad diet.
Cannot.
I mean,
I think
there's nothing you can do to outwork a terrible diet.
And if you've done this long enough, and you have tried, you know that. But in your mind, it's okay. I've got to do this to get back on track, or I need to lose 5 to 10 pounds before I walk into that fitness club. No, that's what we're there for. We have great people in our area. It's not just me at Natchez Total or Natchez Total. We have other areas, and other, you got Amanda Hudson and her crew, and, Emily Moon, all of them that are down there. You've got Lee with Pilates, and, there's so many other places out there that benefit you, that can hold you accountable, that accountability piece.
Yeah. So your 4th piece is, your 4th tip
is know the science.
Okay.
So know that, we all know it's energy. How much energy you take in. If you take too much and you're not excreting that energy, you're going to gain weight. If you maintain the type of energy, and what I mean by energy are calories. So we get our calories and our energy from food. So if we take in more energy than we excrete, you're going to gain weight. If we take in the same, you're going to maintain. And then, of course, if you take in less, then you excrete. That is why the balance is so important. However, I was those people, 900 calories a day. Some people can do that if they're not. That's why they recommend don't work out if you're doing that. Well, I was teaching sometimes 3 classes at Club 4 Fitness down in Gulfport. I was their group fitness director. I lived a mile down the road. So guess what? If somebody couldn't teach, guess who was going to show up and teach it? Because number one, I didn't want to cancel a class. And number 2, it gave me an extra time to work out and to also mingle with our people. I'm a people person. And so that's very important to me too. So I started having really bad migraines. It was right after Mom passed away. So I was kind of thinking, about a year or so. But what it was so many years of lower calorie intake and I was, my energy level or what the energy I was executing was so much, it wasn't balancing. So in other words, I was not fueling my body enough.
Yeah, you were.
And it started shutting down on me. And so it took a while to get to that point. So I hired a nutrition coach or a coach to help me through the process. And there's some other, there's 3 or 4 people that I can give credit to. And but Tommy was one of the ones that sat down with me, like face to face, and he said to me, "You have got to eat this amount of calories because we've got to like rev your metabolism back up." And I looked at him as like, I've never eaten that amount in the last 5 years. Yeah. And so that taught me the science and the fuel of it. And so you can't, yes, energy in, energy out, and it's basic math. You've got to have less energy that you're intaking to have the most energy. It's like a bank account. And so, but knowing the proper way to fuel your body is key. So you can eat less calories, but less calories is probably going to be 12 to 1,500, not 9 to 800, because just for your heart, just for me to sit here and talk to you, I need about 1,200 calories to do that, for my heart to run like it's supposed to, for, just your in body. And so that's the things that you need to find out is where do I feel my most optimum, and to know that it's a lifestyle and it's an up and down kind of thing that you learn, and it's not a quick fix. It
doesn't have to be exact. I think that's something that people will say, 1,500 calories.
Right.
I think, so one of the things that has helped me is I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, but I don't really count them necessarily. I don't have my little app. I don't type in everything because I'm like, I've got 9 jobs already. I don't want to create another job for myself. So I just kind of have in my head, I like to stay between this range, and I kind of know, okay, this is this. Okay. I just kind of do a quick math in my head.
And that is a perfect leeway into what my next tip is.
Okay, what's your...
and so that was perfect. So knowing that now, knowing the energy piece of it and the science behind it, now's how strict do you want to get with it? I'm one of those that I'm going to try it. I ended up with Tommy, okay, if I was to step on stage, what do I need to do that? Yeah. Never would do it. Kudos to you that do. I just do not have that self-confidence piece of getting up on that. I want to train like that, but I don't want to have to get up there. And so my piece was, let me see just how lean I can get before I get to that cut phase, as they call it. And I did it. And I felt good, but I started getting tired towards the end. Yeah. And so that is one way of, there's different reasons why people get in the gym and different, but to maintain that healthy lifestyle, look at your macronutrients, your proteins, your carbs, your fats. You have to have all 3. All 3 serve an energy purpose. Yeah. And that's the first thing I took my notes, because I didn't want to you think about 30% protein, 40% of carbs. And what's the first thing everybody cuts? Yeah. Carbs. Yeah. And you need 40% of that on each meal, that, to maintain that process. And then 30% of fats. You've got to balance your meals. And that doesn't mean now that gives you a reason to go eat new bread. It's the good carbs. So you want to look at those carbs that are healthy for you. And there's a lot of research out there, but just be careful where you go to research. Be careful of the influencers that are out there. Yeah. My one thing is if you follow the Instagram person, by all means, they're probably amazing. But do enough following where they're researching their background. And so you want to make sure that what they're learning...
A lot of information out there.
Is a lot of information. You've got to zone it in. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that can go along with that piece of it. But I can figure your macros for you. There are calculators out there. But here's another tip. So just you knowing me, would you think I was a highly... when you look at sedentary, lightly active, highly active, very active, where would you put me in that realm?
I would say that you're probably very active.
Correct. In my classes. But lifestyle-wise, I'm not. I'm actually lightly active. Yeah. So when you're figuring those macros and you're doing it on yourself and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm in the gym every day. I'm highly active. No, that's not what they're meaning. Highly active means in the gym and you're a construction worker or you work as a line, so there's things that you do that are very active during the day. Yeah. I'm considered lightly because I do not sit at a desk. Yeah. So I'm in between that light and moderate. So depending on what calculator you're using, think about your whole lifestyle, what you do for a living, not just the fact that you're in the gym every day, because it's not taking that, because it'll have you up there with calories and you're like, why am I gaining weight? Well, because you probably put yourself as highly active because you're thinking in the gym. But that's not what that is.
That's one of those trick questions that we like to write the answer down. Like,
I'm
highly active.
I'm in the gym every day, and I'm working anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I'm highly active, and that's not. You got to be very.
It's easy. You have to be honest with yourself.
Read the fine print, and then also know that I don't sit at a desk every day.
Yeah.
But those that do sit at a desk would even be like, even though you work out every day, if you sit at a desk for 8 hours of the day, and you're only in the gym 45 minutes, then you're not as active as you think. So you got to be careful configuring that, and then just the opposite. You may be more active than you think you are, and then therefore you're, not getting the fuel that you need for your body to do what it needs to do. Yeah. And so it's a science, y'all, and it's not, you're thinking, I'm like, let me just give up. No, it's baby steps. And so I think that would be kind of one of the things that I would suggest. Y'all have done it all. I've worked out morning, evening, and sometimes that's okay. I may strength train in the morning and not have enough time to kind of get my little cardio in. Not really running anymore. I've ran 5 half marathons. I'm not a runner. I used to say that, but you know what? I am a runner. And this is what I want y'all to understand. I was helping train one day, and we had like 30 people in this big camp we were doing. So I kind of hung back because I'm not as fast as my friends. I'm kind of like, that's muscle. So your slow twitch and your, all of those muscles there, your fast twitch muscles. I'm just don't have as many fast. And so a lot of it's genetics. And so you got to like kind of take that into play. But I got faster. So don't compare yourself to your friend. Compare yourself to yourself and get better that way. Don't look across the room and think she has it or he has it all together, because I've trained men too. At Prime, we had men that came in. And if you have that friend or you're that spouse or that, that's male and you're female, do not compare yourself. Guys are going to lose it quicker. It's just the biology of it. So I think that's one thing too, is just to understand how the macronutrients work, how your body needs those energy pieces to work at their optimum, and just find somebody that you trust to sit down. If you can feel overwhelmed, find somebody that can sit down with you and kind of walk you through that process. And to know that it takes a year to reach long-term goals when you're trying to lose a lot of weight. And, but the thing is, I want to get out of losing the weight and get into your mind. I want to be healthy. I want to be stronger. I want to be able to run around and pick up my grandkids one day. And so,
I think a quote that I always look at is, we tend to I don't know who said it, but it's so true, is we overestimate what we can do in a week or a month, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in like a year to 5 years. So I think that's just good advice as far as not comparing. I think I don't do a lot of things well, but one of the things that I feel like I have to give myself credit for is I really don't live much of a comparative lifestyle. I'm competing against myself. I'm setting the standard for myself at a certain level, and that's what I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to get better as a flawed human being every day. I can't worry about what everybody else is doing.
That's right.
So I think that's just life in general. It transfers again.
Totally agree with that. And I think the last piece to kind of get into is rest. We know there's yoga. I know that Alicia Norris has her yoga studio, and I know, like Pilates Girl, and then also with Fit Pilates, those two places also can give you a strong workout. Like a lot of people, I sometimes used to say I'm not quiet enough for yoga, but I need to be quiet, because then I got certified in the Sunrise Yoga, which is not a yoga certification, more of a stretching certification. And so I learned to be that quiet still. So learn to rest. And also those classes are way harder than you think they are. So they're good for your core. We're very weak in our core area, meaning from the tops of the knees to the tops of our rib cages. And to know that ab work is core work. Like you don't focus on one part of your body or your core. But to also know that rest is important. I used to not think that was important.
Yeah, physical rest too, not just mental rest. Like physically resting your body is when you heal, basically.
I have 2 rest days and an active rest day. So that tells you right there the importance of it. And so it's just very important to get that sleep that you need to back up and rewind a little bit. And if you have to take 2 weeks off, it's not the end of the world. I used to think that too. And sometimes that 2 weeks piece, say for an illness or you just can't get to the gym, don't beat yourself up about that. You want to that's probably what your body needed, and then you get back into it and you see really great results on feeling better. And I think that's the whole thing that I want everybody to understand with what we're doing today is the wellness piece of it. The whole mental part of it. It reduces anxiety. It helps you to sleep. It helps with bone density, and especially with our teens, it helps to promote that. But it just helps to be stronger, and it just helps you to, when you do have those downfalls of the surgeries or get sick, you're stronger and healthier. And I think that's what I would tell myself is that genetically, if I were to ever have to go through that, because, you think about, gosh, she was the most healthiest person ever, and they died of this. Well, the thing is, they probably would have had lots of trouble sooner on if they had not been active.
Exactly. And then whenever something happens, you're going to have to fight.
You have to recover.
And
I think
so
that's
it's important to be prepared for that, because it's going to happen to all of us. So we need to be as strong as we can going into the battle.
Right, for sure.
Because the battle is coming for each person at a certain point in their life. So it's preparing for that battle. And we'll get Craig on here in a minute. To talk a little sports. But I take my sleep. One of the best things that I started doing, I used to not sleep very well at all because it wasn't important to me.
Right.
And sleep is a priority in my life now. I only get, I get between 6 and 8 hours, but I'll be somewhere and be like, all right, I gotta go. People are like, man, you're going home to go to bed. I'm like, yeah, it's so important. And if you see me out past 9 or 10 o'clock, it's a special occasion. Trust me. It's a special occasion. I'm out and about in town a lot, but you see me mostly during the day, the morning, the day, and early evening.
Right.
But I take that sleep stuff very serious.
Well, it's important for your health, and it's important to stay for longevity in the end. And to kind of vamp or just kind of close up, the main thing is the the nutrition piece. If I were to give 3 tips off the top, the things to do is stay accountable with somebody, have somebody be there to help guide and to help encourage, and also just to understand that food is our friend, and it enables you to have that metabolism that you need. It keeps you warm. It helps you to sleep better. And so I know when I don't eat good, I don't feel good. And so you'll get to that point, but that does not mean not to enjoy life. And I finally got to the point of, if I want to have that meal, I do that, but then I don't punish myself and think, well, I'm just going to give up, so I'm just going to eat this too, and just
the domino effect.
Yeah. And just keep it, it's all in the mind. Be careful of using the word diets. Be careful of using the word cheat meals even. Like, that meal is not a cheat. That is a meal that you want, that you can have, and just set aside that time like, hey, I want that. But don't think of it as a cheat meal. Just think of it as, hey, I'm going to configure this into my daily intake and enjoy it. And so I think that's the thing, is just to make it a lifestyle and not try to focus on, hey, this is what I need to do. And don't judge a book by its cover, because I will never forget this. I did a step aerobics class with the football team at Natchez High. Coach Lance Reed got me to do it. And the offensive and defensive linemen killed it. Those wide receivers were worn out. So, no, but just to know, don't judge a book by its cover, because just because someone may be what you think is large doesn't mean that they're not healthy. Yeah. And so I just think we need to, take that into account and support one another. And I think we've come a long way in the fitness industry with that.
Yeah,
because you see a lot of people that are strong and fit and of all body types, of all backgrounds. And so I just want people to understand, do not be intimidated. We've all had to step in there at one time or another. Yeah. Just reach out and he can put you in touch with the right person for you.
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate you sharing all that with us, because I think naturally the new year we all kind of right. reset. I do a lot of kind of evaluating. I schedule it, monthly on a smaller base, but quarterly I do a little bit larger digging side. But at this time of the year, I really do a deep dive on what did I get right this year?
Self-reflection.
Where did I mess up? And I want to take more of the good stuff into the new year. So I think all of these are good things for us to all think about going into the new year. So hopefully we can all have a healthy, happy new year. That's the goal.
That's right.
People like us, we just want to spread positivity and and help people be happy. And this is just one part of it.
It is. This is a part of it that just kind of keeps us all in the same mindset. You know, just to be enthusiastic, increase your strength, and just feel good.
Yeah, because when you're healthy, you're happy.
That's right.
Generally, so
for sure, it definitely helps.
Do you want to hang out with me? We got Craig Jackson coming on. I think you know Craig.
I know Craig.
Yeah. You want to hang out and
sure.
Stick around?
I'm on Christmas break.
That's
Not
right.
that I don't love your children. I'd say sleep in. Today, but you had to come hang today, so that's fine.
You had the option. You just chose not to. That's right.
That's right.
So we'll take a quick break to recognize some of our awesome partners, and we'll be right back to talk a little ball with Craig Jackson here at Magnolia Bluffs Casino.
Hey y'all, it's Shannon and Ronnie with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we want to tell you about our awesome partners, Weeks Furniture.
Weeks Furniture has a friendly professional sales staff, and they're family owned.
Weeks Furniture carries Ashley, Liberty, Craftmaster, and many other top brands.
They showcase a variety of living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, home office, kids' bedrooms, home decor, and more.
They offer free local delivery, financing is available, and they will meet or beat any competitor's pricing.
Come see why Weeks Furniture has been serving the Miss Lou for almost 60 years.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. I want to tell you about our awesome partners, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chiks. Hicks Chiks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know they are also open to the public? Hicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish. And don't forget about their famous TNT burgers that are already pattied up for you and their amazing dessert options. So go see the awesome team at Hicks Chiks at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Natchez. Hicks Chiks, way more than just chicken.
Welcome to your new hospital, Trinity Medical. Located in Faraday, Trinity Medical is the only acute care facility in the Tri-Parish area. Here you will find an active pursuit of holistic health, a strong, honest group of clinicians, and a consciousness of others that transcends the 80,000 square feet committed to you and your loved ones. Trinity Medical. People you know, caring for people you love.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're out at our awesome partners, Gregg Veterinary Clinic, and we are in the back in the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. I'm standing in the Magnolia Bell Suite, which is one of 5 elite boarding suites available to your 4-legged furry friends when you travel this summer. Each suite comes with a private bed, flat screen TV, 24/7 video monitoring, and a sliding door so your pet feels like they're home. They provide one-on-one walking and activities in a fenced-in private backyard. So call Gregg Vet Hospital today and request your pet suite at the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. They'll leave the light on for you. Call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.
My name is Yvonne Ivory. I'm the lab director here at Trinity Medical. I have 40 years of medical laboratory experience.
Hello, my name is Mary Cubic. I am Trinity Medical Outpatient Specialist, and I've been doing this for over 40 years.
Our lab offers numerous services. We have an exceptional outpatient department. We provide phlebotomies and venipunctures for tests requested by physicians. Trinity Lab has the newest, most innovative equipment for specimen processing, yielding quick turnaround times for results. Doctors are able to diagnose and treat patients in a timely manner for faster healing. Our newest addition is our in-house microbiology department.
Hi, I'm Fayla Giddon, and I am the lead microbiology tech here at Trinity Medical. I have over 24 years of experience, and this is our brand new microbiology department. So if the doctors suspect infection, that's where we bring the cultures back here. We set them up on different types of media, depending on what type of culture it is. So if we have some growth, it'll be something like this. So we do some offline tests where we determine if it's gram positive, gram negative, and then we're able to set it up on our machines, and it's able to tell us the organism. It gives us an ID, and it also gives us a sensitivity, which shows the doctor what drug will treat the patient and kill the organism.
Here at Trinity, we are committed to providing excellent patient care and services to promote the healing of our patients and our community.
All right, guys, we're back with Champion Sports Talk. Here with our buddy Craig Jackson. How are you?
I'm good.
So Craig, you know that Joey and I are both follically challenged, I guess is a good word to say.
In certain areas, y'all are.
And you know, he's decided to do something about it.
I heard.
In the new year.
I'm proud of him.
And I think, Dustin, did we have some, did he text, we have some footage?
Yeah, we got footage.
Okay, so he's actually getting a hair transplant today.
Where were they getting the hair from?
I think they took it from his lower back.
Okay.
And they moved it to the top.
I saw him at the pool this summer. That's a great idea. kind of killing two birds with one stone.
But no, we actually have a picture of him that we'll put on the screen, and excellent. I think he looks nice. I think he looks good. I'm
looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah,
and it'll be a lot better at the pool too.
I just can't.
Hey, look. The new rule is if you have to miss a show, you pay the price.
Well, we shouldn't be telling all of Joey's secrets, but it's not like they're not going to notice him in Walmart walking through with his wife beater and his new hair. You know.
Just remind me not to miss.
It's going to be a good 2024 for Joey.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
Joey, we love you. Just the way you are.
No, my goodness.
Ronnie, I wanted to add on. Shannon was talking about health and stuff, and I just wanted anybody watching to know that this phone camera puts on about 20 pounds on me. Just saying that it's true what you hear.
That's right. That's right.
Well, speaking of that with cameras, I have had to watch myself on the DC cameras every now and then. I think we need to upgrade our lenses because I don't like the way I look on that.
Uh-oh.
So that's true.
Oh, goodness.
Just joking.
Craig, we brought you on today because we always do our little segment about Magnolia Bluff Casino and some of the things that you guys have going here. Let's talk about the sports book. I know that we had you on. This is our 20th episode, by the way. Unbelievable. We had you on.
I was thinking 16 or 17.
We had you on one of our early episodes, and we talked about the sports book. But why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, for starters, we take all the bets on the main sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Do the MMA when they have a good event, and we have the best viewing area in the Miss Lou. For instance, tonight the Saints are playing.
Yeah.
If you don't have Amazon Prime, you're not going to get to watch them. But here we'll have the Saints on a 222-inch screen that's right over there with a great volume. Having giveaways tonight. Just should be a fun atmosphere.
Are y'all going to provide the bags?
Yeah, we always have bags available for Saints fans. And uh-oh.
No, my dad, he's like, he'd look at me and call me Boo. And when that happened, I can remember watching football with Dad, and he looked at me and said, Boo, those are not the kind of fans we are.
That's right. But that was amazing. That was pretty smart back in the day.
Yeah.
But so we just offer all kind of sports betting options. And in Mississippi, you have to go to a casino to place a bet. And in Louisiana, you can do it from your mobile device. So we're still behind Louisiana and some of the other states, but it's just a fun atmosphere. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've done both. but I honestly like coming down. I still like to just be a part of something. I like the experience.
It's like a restaurant. You can DoorDash and DoorDash and DoorDash,
Yeah.
but at some point you're like, I miss going and sitting down and conversing
Yeah.
and seeing other people and just enjoying the whole process as
Exactly.
opposed to staying at home.
And then staying what I like is I can place my bed either at the kiosk,
Right.
Or at the desk, and then I can hang out, get some amazing food,
That's
have
right.
some drinks, and watch the game right here. I mean, it's just the whole experience is what I like about
For
it.
sure. And we have a menu that if Shannon was on, if she was here and was hungry, there's things that she could eat.
Yeah.
There's things that Fat Boy here can eat, and then there's something for everybody in
Yeah.
between. But Chef Anthony does a great job in the
He
kitchen.
does.
I mean,
He's an amazing guy.
fantastic job.
Yeah.
He's the best we've had, in my opinion. He is just
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Great guy.
But it's a fun atmosphere. My ticket writers are very, very good. They
Yeah.
help with your bets. You don't have to feel intimidated.
Yep.
Walking up to a kiosk, which is intimidating.
You can be, for sure.
It can be. So you,
Especially like me that's never done it before. Like,
Oh, yeah.
say I just want to come and have a little bit of fun and want to do that.
it was
The comfort
intimidating for
zone,
me.
right?
Yeah.
The first time I went to one, and I was already training to be a ticket writer and do all the numbers, not a ticket writer, but the trader part in the back. And I went up to a kiosk to explore different types of kiosks that I might want to put here.
Mm-hmm.
And I would walk up and hope no one would come up behind me because it wasn't user friendly. So
Yeah.
I did get the most user friendly, in my opinion, kiosk on the market. They're very user friendly,
Yeah.
but we always have people here, and
Yeah.
that's the element that.
So it says ticket writers available starting at noon on weekdays and 9 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays.
Correct. And today I brought them in early because there's a noon college basketball game today. So I
Okay.
had the ticket writers come in at 11. So I get them here before the first game kicks off. Baseball season, tournaments like next week when basketball tournaments start, if there's a 11 o'clock game, 10:30 game, my ticket writers will be here at 10.
Yeah. So you're aware of.
Yeah.
I like that because not everybody always.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
that's
We
good
bring
awareness.
in ticket writers
Yeah.
before the first event.
Yeah. And it says line sheets go out to the customers every day as soon as the casino opens.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a little bit later because the numbers are crazy in the morning, especially NBA basketball.
Yeah.
They're crazy all day on NBA basketball. And we converse with people in other places I do, trying to figure out what's really going on. And it's not that you get a big advantage, but you just end up, it becomes a game within a game, and you
Yeah.
want to be accurate just because it's your job.
One of the things that last time we had you on that really shocked me is I would have thought football betting was like 90% of the betting, but you said that there's a lot of that's more even than I would think.
It's way more even, but I mean, football's still king. It's still
it's
still the king, but we have a lot of pro basketball business and a good bit of college basketball. But we have really a good business. A guy from ESPN Radio was here, and he used to frequent the place a good bit, and he said he went to the LaBerge, and LaBerge is a very busy casino, big casino in Baton Rouge, and he was amazed. He said we had more NBA action than they had,
Wow.
in Baton Rouge. He was just amazed at the number of people that would come through and make the NBA
Especially
bet.
being in a college town, you would think, hey, we follow sports a little
Absolutely.
more, and then for
It was just one of those things. We just have
Yeah.
a following of NBA.
Yeah. And then tonight, it looks like we've got I guess Margaret and the guys listen up y'all 95.
Yep,
Our
they're
friends over there.
going to be here,
Yeah,
and they're going to have
tailgate
some
party.
giveaways and tailgate party, beer specials, probably some food specials. Not probably, there will be food specials. I don't know the particular
Yeah.
special, but our prices are reasonable anyway. So I don't sweat that very much, thinking that a lot has to be done on the special side.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll run through this just for those guys. Like I said, our buddies over there. So kickoff at 7:15, drinking food specials. And the giveaways for tonight is a Patron Tequila Ice Chest, Tito's Vodka Golf Bag, a Eat, Play, and Stay Magnolia Bluff package, free coupons, and a Magnolia Bluff booze swag bag. So pretty good stuff.
That's good prizes. Perfect for a sports book atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't.
For sure.
They'll probably tell me I'm not eligible to win, but I'm gonna try anyway.
Yeah.
So Tim's out gallivanting around the country, just roaming the countryside, just living life while we're here working.
That's right.
So he can't come in today to do his pick. So we're going to just keep you on to do his pick.
Well, I did converse with him, but he gave me a little leeway, which that way it'll be my fault instead of his. Very smart on his part.
Yeah, it's a good play.
But in college, he's going to go with USC Trojans plus 7.5 without Caleb Williams. So it'll be the first time anybody's ever quarterbacked for USC.
Okay, so he's going to go with
USC plus 7.5.
Okay.
And literally since Lincoln Riley has moved to USC, this will be the first game that Caleb Williams has not been a quarterback in the 2 full years that Lincoln Riley's been.
Don't give away his NFL yet because we're going to pass it around. So he's going to go with plus 7.5. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That so Lincoln was there last year. Williams played every game.
He followed Lincoln from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
and he's put up massive numbers. But USC just something's missing. I'm not sure what it is, but after watching Louisville, defense for sure. But after watching Louisville the last few games, I don't see them being world beaters either. So I like the pick.
I looked at that one too. I didn't. That's not my pick, but I like that. I looked at it. We're gonna let Shannon do Joey's pick.
So maybe to bring some luck.
We're gonna test your sports knowledge. We're gonna ask you to break down the game and all of that for us. So what?
I'll just do my homework on that, but I promise you, if I'd have known before coming in, I'd have had my ducks in a row.
So what is Joey's college pick?
So his college picks between Texas A&M and Oklahoma State was Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. And that's an interesting game too, Craig. What are your thoughts on that game?
A&M's the favorite.
Yeah.
So I like them. I mean, they're playing good
2-point
football.
favorite.
Yeah, they're playing good football. And actually, with the coaching change, those guys have to be trying to impress the next head coach.
Yeah. Right.
So they're going to be playing hard.
A&M's
and that always matters. Even though they did have a couple of people hit the transfer portal who didn't. This is the season of the transport of the opt-outs for the bowl games.
Bowl games are harder.
But I like A&M's chances. I really do.
See, I'm kind of on the other side of that fence. I think Oklahoma State's going to put a whipping on them. I think they've kind of just checked out. Let me ask you this, because I know they had the Jimbo coaching changed, but did the interim coach, is he gone too?
I don't
is
even.
he the one that
I hadn't
took the
even
Syracuse
looked.
job?
I hadn't looked close enough to see. I think he did. So I don't
So
even.
they may be on their third coach, if I'm not mistaken.
They could be, but again, they're trying to impress and get a lead into whoever's going to be their coach, and I'm sure they're going to retain assistants and things. So again, the players that are there have a lot to prove. But Oklahoma State, I mean, that's the most tenured coach in the country. Gundy is.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody more tenured than him.
Nobody had a better mullet than him. I know that for sure.
Well, Joey may. No, I think Joey's going with. Joey may be going with.
I think he's going with the feathered look.
He told me he was either going to get a mullet, a feathered look, or maybe a semi-mohawk cool thing going. I don't know what Joey chose.
The way he explained it to me, he was going to go with the Kenny Rogers look.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
That's interesting. Well, I hope he's also not doing the rest of what Kenny Rogers did, getting his face all distorted.
No, I think he's just going with the hair on this.
Good. And it probably matters, I would assume it matters with the texture of the hair that they got from his lower back. Will probably have a lot to do with what he ends up going with.
Yeah, luckily he's got a lot of length to work with. As far as that goes.
I saw. Yeah.
You saw him at the pool.
Yeah, I can attest. He could pretty much pull off. He could pretty much pull off anything.
He may do the Crystal Gale.
I can't.
He could literally pull off almost anything. He could definitely go 70s, with the long moppy hair.
Joey's gonna he's gonna unfriend us and.
I'm gonna pull y'all in and have a chat. That's what I want to do.
Hey, this is what guys do, Shannon.
It's not true.
Shannon wrote all of our material before the show.
This is all on Shannon.
Before the show, Shannon wrote this material.
Oh, goodness. Let me get the train. Let me get the train back on the track real quick.
Can we get back to sports, please?
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm a bad influence.
I'm going to take for my college picks of the week, I'm going to take the Utah Utes, 6.5-point favorites over Northwestern Wildcats. I don't even know why, really. Utah's a pretty good team, and And Northwestern just seems like they always stink to me, so I don't know.
I'm gonna be surprised if the Big Ten doesn't bomb in the bowl game. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel you though. The Big Ten had probably the weakest conference, to be honest. I mean, you had your Michigan and your Ohio State, but as somebody that has to look at the numbers, they had the biggest margin of spreads interconference than any other conference. Like,
yeah,
the bottom 6 or 7 of their teams this year was complete garbage. So Northwestern, if they had a pulse, was going to win 6 games this year.
So to kind of ask maybe a naive question, when we talked about earlier about coaching changes and all that, isn't that kind of new, like midstream between, or is it just I'm paying more attention and it's more in the.
You're talking about like the
media?
timing of it?
Timing,
Yeah.
yes.
It used to be at the end of the year.
Right.
But
I've noticed over the last couple of years it's midstream.
There's so many variables now, I would say, to answer that question.
Yeah, and part of it is they used to not. Here's one reason they wouldn't get rid of a coach. The second Wednesday in February used to be National Signing Day, and that's when you got all your players. So now they have an early signing day. Then they had a signing day yesterday, and yesterday was early. Then they'll have another one in February. But then they have the transfer portal, so they're not worried about trying to keep these kids committed and then dumping and getting a new coach because everything is wide open. It's like free agency in college football.
So it's basically kind of taking on a.
And not for the better.
I know.
Not for the better.
I mean, that's just kind of as someone that. Not quite as deep as y'all do, but I just have noticed that over the last couple of years. So I didn't mean to
No, that's good. It's a good question because
I kept thinking, wow, in the middle, like that just seems like that would do a lot to the mentality of the team.
Well, I think as far as say like Texas A&M, for example, they got the lead when they fired Jimbo Fisher. They were like, okay, we're going to get the first picks of the coaches before everybody else has started to fire their coaches.
Exactly. It becomes if we go ahead and fire him now, we can
go ahead and start contacting people
whoever we want.
Yeah, exactly.
So instead of enjoying the moment with your athletes and encourage, that's just
exactly
a version, I guess you would say. But it just kind of seems like it's disheartening to the team.
Yeah,
it's got to be rough because those guys, even when they're losing, that's their father figure.
Yeah,
they wouldn't still be there if they didn't really like or love their coach, even if they're not getting it done. But it's so much money involved. I mean, they paid him $70+ million to leave.
I wish it's not. They made that much money.
I mean, if you want to see something funny, watch Ed Ogeron talk about when LSU fired him. He was like, I think they owed him like $34 million or something.
Like 17.
17.
That's the reason you see all the memes about
a lot of money.
And he was laughing. He was like, yeah, so they told me, you're fired. Here's $17 million. I'm like, okay, where's the door? I mean, he was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
Which door you want me to go out of and what time you want me to hit it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he walked out to press.
Yeah.
Kim, if you're listening, you can fire me for like $2 million. I'll leave. I'll drag my head out.
And I'll be glad to cancel the sports talk show for I mean, I'll say 1.5.
Yeah.
I'm easy.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I left some room for him to negotiate there.
So Shannon, let's jump over to the NFL because I can smell this food coming. I can sense it coming. I see Rachel over here waiting on us. So we're
gonna move on to the NFL.
Yeah, NFL. What's
so Joey has chosen the Cowboys over the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, and that's a pick'em game right now. So.
That's a pick'em game.
Okay.
I like Miami in that game for several reasons. Even without Tyreek Hill, Miami can run the ball, and I don't think Dallas can stop the run very well. Buffalo was able to run the ball.
Yeah.
Buffalo
put a whipping on them.
Yeah, that's just my and Dallas does this a lot. They'll win 4, they look like world beaters, and then they'll lose a few. So I think they're going to lose a few before they get going again.
They've been a roller coaster since the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my pick, my pro pick, I hate to do it, but I'm going to take the Rams -4 over the Saints because one thing I've noticed about the Saints coach is when he wins one, it's generally followed by a loss.
Look, those trends matter.
And I don't know how many times he's won 2 games in a row.
And as a Saints fan,
that's hard.
As a Saints fan, if they don't win, you can say, hey, at least I got my pick.
Yeah.
And if you lose your pick, you say, hey, at least the Saints won.
Exactly.
You know,
unless the Rams win by 3,
and then that would be a double whammy. Yeah, and that's why we serve alcohol.
That's right. That's right.
So,
and then so what is
Tim's gonna go with the Jets minus
Jets.
3
the Jets? Okay,
At home.
over Washington. Okay.
over Washington, because I don't know if you've noticed, but Aaron Rodgers is talking about coming back this year potentially.
Yeah.
And so if the Jets finish out the season in some kind of strong run, who knows? I mean, they still feel like they have something to play for, and the backup's doing a good job.
For an Achilles. Oh my goodness.
If he comes back, I'll lose my
Willie,
spot.
what's up, brother? How are you?
That's right.
So before our food comes out real quick while we have you, because this is probably the last time that we'll have you on the show before the college playoff, how do you see all of that playing out? Who do you have in each game, and then who do you have winning?
I'm almost going with the book. I think Dallas. I think that Alabama's going to beat Michigan, and I think Texas is going to win, beat Washington, and then I think it's going to be a rematch between Alabama and Texas.
Okay.
That's just what I feel like. But for next week, y'all could talk about opt-outs. You know, it's a good topic because there's so many teams with so many opt-outs right now. You look at some lines. If you're a bettor and you look at a line and you think it looks too good to be true, well, double check and see who's not playing, because some teams are missing 40 to 50 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Take USC. Even though they're missing those touchdowns, I think they'll be okay against Louisville. But their running back opted out and their quarterback opted out. You're like, well, that's 2 players. That's 50-plus touchdowns. That's a lot of offense.
So what's the so you got Alabama and
I
Texas?
think it's going to be Alabama and Texas.
Who do you have in that one?
Alabama for sure. If they rematch, I think Alabama's strong. But my Michigan inner voice is saying that they're really, really good. But I just, again, I think the Big Ten was so weak that Michigan was automatically, everybody assumes, the best team, and they may turn out to be just overwhelmingly that good. But until they actually prove it in 2 games, and I could see them beating Alabama and then still having trouble in the championship game, whether it's Washington or –
I haven't heard anybody take Texas. Washington yet. I haven't met one person that's taken Washington over Texas.
And you know what? And they've just won all year. All they've done is won.
I know.
They've won. They beat Oregon twice. You know, they just keep winning. That's the type of team. I have a lot of respect for them, but Texas is playing really well.
Yeah, and Oregon, according to the hype, was a very good team. I mean, and they beat them twice. What's the line saying as far as the if it's an Alabama-Texas matchup? What do you think that would look like?
Alabama would be a slight favorite. It's just too hard to beat a team twice, and it's too hard. And Alabama's improved vastly, and history has shown when Alabama has a rematch, LSU 2012, go to the Georgia when they got to replay Georgia, not the last time, the time before. It's tough. Nick Saban's the best in the business.
Yeah,
it's tough to bet against him.
Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes before our salmon comes out, so I'm just waiting on that. Ask you a few little questions.
Sure.
But, what do you think about the rumors about Saban hanging it up and all that? You think he's gonna?
No, he's not gonna hang it up yet.
You think if he wins the national championship, he rides off?
I doubt it.
He loves it too much, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, he loves it and he hates it. It's a love-hate thing. But he doesn't love anything else.
Right.
Really, he can't enjoy himself when he wins. So how could he enjoy himself retiring?
Yeah.
Unless he just decides he'd be an analyst, and of course he would be an awesome analyst.
Oh, he's great at that. Yeah.
But I don't know if he wants to do that. And then he's going to have his quarterback coming back, who's going to be a Heisman candidate next year. So they're going to be in really good shape. Going into next year.
He made as big of an improvement, I think, as anybody that I've seen.
Might have been his best coaching job.
Milroe made a huge improvement.
Right, but I think
this was Saban's best coaching job.
Me too. Do you remember when he benched Milroe for the whole game?
Yeah.
After he pulled him out at half because he just wasn't seeing it. The light wasn't on the first couple of games, including the loss to Texas. I mean, that was a horribly played game by Alabama standards. And then when when Milrow came back and the light came on, just like Jaden Daniels, sometimes the light comes on. Most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time when you don't have it and you're not getting it, you just don't catch up to the speed of the game. But those two guys work hard and work through it.
Yeah.
And Milrow's, I mean, he's a beast.
He was against LSU.
Where's Malett Murphy going to go? That's a good question. I wish he would go to LSU. Malett Murphy is the quarterback that's leaving Texas that won several games, and he's transferring to get an opportunity to play because Ewers is coming back and Manning's going to be the backup. But he is literally 6'5", 250 pounds. And can run and throw. I mean, he is just a beast.
Yeah. He. Am I making up? Did he?
It was some school that kind of surprised me.
School?
Yeah, it was some school that kind of surprised me. I don't know the exact one. He hadn't committed yet.
Yeah, but
I was surprised. I'm telling you, I was hoping LSU would.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
dial him up.
LSU's got several
food.
They've got some good ones coming in. All right, we got our salmon. Man, this looks delicious.
Okay, so this is currently not on the menu.
It's not on the menu. This is VIP. Again, Joey didn't make the VIP list. This is just VIP.
It really is.
Did you see the picture of Joey?
Oh my goodness.
You haven't seen?
This is going to be on our new menu coming in January. So
Okay.
the preview.
So in a week or so, it will be. Man, this looks delicious.
Look at some macros.
Is that cooked in olive oil?
She's like, I'm not sure. I just.
Well, I mean, for Shannon, it would.
No, what butter's okay for now, man. Just butter.
Be another fat. It'd be a healthy fat for her.
That's right. 100, depending on how much.
Oh goodness. Well, Craig, we appreciate you coming on the
I
show.
enjoyed it.
Playing the role of Tim today.
Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing Joey when all of this transformation happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a good year for Joey. I mean,
Yeah.
with the new hair and everything, it's gonna be a whole new thing for him.
He might even lifeguard this year. Who knows?
I will come swimming more often if he does. So
We love Joey. We love him.
he knows we love him.
He knows I love him.
Shannon, I appreciate you coming and sharing some good information with the viewers.
Thanks for having me. You know my passion, so
That's
it's helping others, and so anything that I can do to help out with that, just reach out. We're here for y'all.
Yeah, that's right. And we appreciate all of our awesome partners, including Magnolia Bluff Casino and Joey's Concordia Sentinel. We'll give them a shout out.
Absolutely.
All of our awesome partners, Hicks Chiks here, everybody. Thank you to all of our viewers out there. We normally say have a champion day here, but I want to say before I do, Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
We still say Merry Christmas around
Absolutely.
here. So be blessed. Everybody have a champion day. Thank y'all. Good job, man. Yeah. Man, this looks delicious.
'Tis the season to win our 40 grand dashing into cash and $10,000 New Year New Money grand prize. It's time to unwrap over $70,000 in winnings. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
We want to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.